In today's video, I will be predicting the MVP award, who my MVP will be. So we have every single team. And we're going to start with the not honorable mention. No disrespect, but I'm not going to give 32 players a shot here. Jacoby Brissett, you have the worst schedule in the league, and your team is not very good. That's all I got to say. Tua and Penix, I don't know how many games each of them will start. I just don't think it's it. Bryce Young, you had a great season. I just don't know if you're top 10. Whether you're Massage Watson or Shedeur Sanders, it does not matter. You're on the Browns. Pack your bags. It's over. CJ Stroud, I mean, it just hurts when you look to the left and you see CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. It's unfortunate. But based on what Stroud did last year, I don't even think he deserves a mention here in the honorable mention list. In fact, there's way too many hypotheticals. I don't know if you just heard that, but that Thunderstrike was crazy. But it is so fried for these two. Not really for Bryce Young. He should be fine. But these two are both kind of still in prove-it deals. And you're kind of... Clock's ticking, dude. Danny Dimes, coming off a major injury. You lost Pittman. You lost... I think it was Adonai Mitchell? Maybe not. They lost a receiver to the Jets. They're losing a great supporting cast. And if there's anyone on the Colts who deserves an honorable mention, it's Jonathan Taylor. You're welcome. But why am I ranking quarterbacks for an MVP award? Shouldn't I be giving Jonathan Taylor an honorable mention? No, there's no shot that a running back or wide receiver is going to win the award. Matter of fact, a defensive player. You can break the sack record and you're not even going to be top 5. I mean, there's no shot it's not a quarterback. And then we're just going to keep going. Mendoza and Kirk Cousins. You guys are in the... You probably have the 3 hardest divisional opponents out of any team. I don't know if there's a top 3 as stacked as that. Unless you're the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals situation's probably worse. But the Raiders are building the correct pieces. It's just Kirk Cousins is apparently going to start for them. And I don't know how I like Kirk Cousins winning the MVP here. We're going to keep going. Hypothetically, Justin Herbert, he should be on the list, hypothetically. But if something goes well, Malik Willis, the MVP of that team is Devon Achane. Kyler Murray, I gotta see it till I believe it. You could be an honorable mention, but you could also be a one-and-done deal, lead the Vikings to a top 5 pick. He's not a safe guy to put all the way up here, I don't know. And yeah, these guys are looking fine here. Shook, though. He's solid. He's been solid. He had a great rookie year. Happy for him, he did solid. But he's not there yet. I think he will take steps of progress. I don't think he's going to have a Drake May jump. And speaking of Drake May jump, my God. Jackson Dart, I don't know yet, because he doesn't even know if his wide receiver 1 is healthy. He doesn't know if his running back 1 is healthy. He doesn't know... I mean, you could argue Tracy's the number 1 running back, too. Respect to Tracy, that dude balled out last year. But that's beside the point. The O-line, yes, they've improved. Good job. Wide receivers, you've improved the depth, but if you don't have Malik Neighbors, I don't know how far Jackson Dart's going to be able to really elevate here. And to be honest, I don't know if I see the Giants making this big run in the playoffs. And most of the votes go to players who actually make the playoffs or have like these big seasons, which is why some of these quarterbacks might still be here. Oh, did I put a team? Yeah, I did. Whoops. Cam Ward. I mean, you did great. But you actually didn't do great. But that's because your team sucked. Now your team sucks less. But yeah, there's no shot you're getting an honorable mention. And that leaves me with these quarterbacks here. As much as I want to give him a shout out, Jayden Daniels, he doesn't have the supporting cast. I don't think he has the team, and I don't know if he even has the talent to help the rest of this team. I don't know. I don't see them as a big playoff team. I don't really see it. And then, outside of that, I think anyone else could be an honorable mention. Except for Baker Mayfield. I believe he was going through an injury. And to make matters worse, you lose Evans. Your running back, he's coming back from an injury too. And you're practically injured if you think you're going to be good with that head coach, who's also defensive minded. They lost so many true leaders in that locker room, and the team's already aging on them. They lost their top corner, top linebacker, top receiver. And there's so many injury concerns. I don't think Baker's going to be able to pull off. But he's definitely one of the best of the not honorable mentions. Now on to the honorable mentions, where we will introduce Mr. Jordan Love to the not honorable mention. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. But Jordan Love, if he had better receivers, if his best one wasn't a tight end who's coming off an injury, if his second best weapon wasn't a running back who's facing some off the field stuff, and if you didn't lose Dontavian Wicks, didn't lose Romeo Doubs, begging for Christian Watson to not explode after getting 400 yards, explode as an injury, not a good thing. There's way too many hypotheticals here, and I honestly think the Packers are the worst team in the NFC North. So yeah, you are not getting an honorable mention. Outside of that, the last one would be Aaron Rodgers. He's probably the best candidate on the not honorable mention list because he finally has improved running back room. DK Metcalf's got another wide receiver. They got Michael Pittman. They got the Alabama man. They got 2 solid tight ends at least. And the O-line is looking decent. And he's reuniting with McCarthy. So maybe he is actually going to be an honorable mention. And you know what? Sure, I'll give him an honorable mention. Now you're probably feeling slapped in the face if you're one of these 3 guys here, potentially. But if there's any random scenario where a player can just go absolutely nuclear, it's a freaking 40-year-old Hall of Fame quarterback reuniting with his head coach and actually having weapons for the first time since you lost Davante Adams. And we're not talking about the Jets days. Those don't count. But he finally has a 1-2 punch. So maybe, just maybe, that's why he's a part of this honorable mention crew. Next honorable mention, Trevor Lawrence. I'm one of the people who has no belief in the Jacksonville Jaguars next year. I don't I mean, I could pray that Liam Cohen just magically pulls it off again. But under Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence has looked phenomenal. There's just way too many hypotheticals, and I don't even think they're going to be that good of a team. But based on what Lawrence did last season, he at bare minimum deserves an honorable mention. So he's getting the bare minimum. Next up, Brock Purdy. If your team is not dead by week 4, you might have a chance. But you got Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey. Whoa, who was that? Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle. We don't mention Ayuk, but I mean, still a solid core, great head coach. He could pull it off. Jalen Hurts. If his signature move wasn't getting his ass pushed by 350-pound men, then maybe he'd be higher up, but he still plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. And sometimes all you need is to play for a team that wins football games to be an MVP. And that's just the truth of it. It is. Unfortunately, even hypotheticals could not get Justin Herbert on the top 10. It's a sad day. But if the O-line actually wakes up, if their offensive tackle duo is not hurt, if the pieces start connecting, if Justin Herbert is able to have that 1-2 punch with Johnson and McConkey, if that all works, he can be on the top 10 list. But there's just too many question marks with these guys. And that's just going to be the common theme you're going to see today. Because number 1's going to be the guy probably with the least question marks. And look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This last honorable mention, about 60% of you are going to be enraged. 30% is going to be curious. And 10% is going to be very happy. I hope you're in the 10%. But Caleb Williams. His receiving core, nothing bad to say. Running back, nothing bad to say. Coach, nothing bad to say. It's just when you are looking at MVP, you either want A, a super good receiving core, or B, a super good team around you. And I just don't know if the Bears are Seahawks, Patriots, Rams, Chiefs, Lions, Broncos. We'll skip the Cowboys and the Bengals, and then the Bills, Ravens. But I think these two are the better quarterbacks. But I feel like winning and having a great receiving room is what's going to get you the MVP. He might be more valuable than maybe 5 guys here to their team. But that's not what it's actually about. It's about stats and wins. That's all that matters. Come on. So unfortunately, even though I think he's a top 10 quarterback, or he could be a top 10 quarterback on my list, this is the MVP odds. At number 10, Bo Nix. You're probably asking 1,000 questions. But there's 2 simple things. You add Jalen Waddle to add to your receiving room, so his throwing stats should go up. And then you have a phenomenal defense and Sean Payton. You're gonna get wins. And Jalen Waddle increasing your stats, he's probably gonna be the Jared Goff, the 24, 23, maybe even 25 Jared Goff. And you know what that gets you? That gets you a top 10 finish. But now, we're headed to number 9. Sam Darnold. What's going on with Sam Darnold? He's a part of that same kind of winning culture, same winning squad, except they lost some players, so they're not as good as Denver. But does Denver have Jackson Smith and Jigba? I thought so. Is Sam Darnold better than Bo Nix? Yes. That's what gets you number 9. But the only thing holding you back is that out of these quarterbacks, I think Sam Darnold is worse than probably all of them. But if you want to talk about the worst, we got to think about this. What matters? Statistics and wins. Who's going to get the least amount of wins out of these teams? That's right, Dallas. At number 8. They could be a wild card team. They could also contend for a top 10 pick. But they're going to get loads of stats. Pickens, Lamb, that is a phenomenal duo. And Dak Prescott, I don't care what people say. I think he is one of the most, if not the most, underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Still, to this day, he still does not get enough respect for what he does. And now he has the best wide receiver duo in the entire league. Maybe comparable with the Rams. Maybe the Rams can argue for that. Maybe the Bengals can argue for that. But a lot of teams cannot even lace a single string of argument as to why they would have a better receiving duo. So because of how underrated Dak is, how good he is, and how good this receiving room is alone, that nets you number 8. At number 7, I was talking about him earlier, Jared Goff. You have Gibbs from the back. You have J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, even Isaiah Pacheco, Isaac Tesla. You got loads of weapons. And he has been... I'll talk about this with Dak. Jared Goff, even though he's had some consistency issues, statistically, he's been one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. And I think these stats and a good finish this year from the Lions, I think that could get you MVP voting. But now we're about to hit the top 5. But one player will be left out. I don't know, Jim. Unfortunately, the mighty Patrick Mahomes will be left out of the top 10. A lot of question marks are going to be made about some of the elite quarterbacks. But Mahomes is elite. It doesn't matter. He might be coming off an injury. Kelsey might become washed. Does not matter. One of their receivers might be in jail or be getting traded or fired due to his actions. Yup. But you still got Worthy and you still got A. Kelsey. You still got Andy Reid. You still got Eric Bieniemy. Still got K9. And you're Patrick Mahomes. That's all I gotta say. But you want to talk about question marks? We gotta talk about the schedule. Drake the Schedule May, coming in at number 5. Statistically, and probably even winning-wise, Drake May could be your MVP. Some may say he was robbed, and I could probably agree with you. Now you add Matthew Stafford to the equation, and then you're kind of confused here. But at bare minimum for Drake May this season, at bare minimum, with A.J. Brown, with Romeo Doubs entering, with the team around him progressing, he's got to be in the top 5 based on what he did last season. The schedule might be getting more difficult, but I don't really care. Because he was top 2. And personally, he was my number 1 last year. And number 4, once again, it's kind of the same thing with Mahomes. Yes, you're coming off an injury, but you're still elite. And if you can replicate that, that would be great. He has his head coach is Zach Taylor. Also, his defense has had question marks, but this is the best his defense has ever looked. And you still got Higgins, still got Chase, and Chase Brown has been looking great himself as well. And don't disrespect Mike Gesicki now. But this might be the best the Bengals have looked in a while. And with a healthy Joe Burrow, there's no question he's top 5. But we just gotta see. Will the defense connect? Will Zach Taylor be able to help Joe Burrow in any way possible? That's all I gotta say about him. But now we're entering the top 3. I'm sorry. Baltimore. Because your man, Lamar Jackson, is at number 3. New head coach probably has the worst receiving weapons out of the 3 quarterbacks, even out of the 4, even out of the 5, could be even out of the 6, could be out of this whole top 10 here. I just think Jackson is given the least in terms of helping him win the MVP. And with a new head coach, I don't know. But he's still going to run like crazy. He's still going to throw like crazy. He's still going to put up crazy numbers. And his team is going to somehow find a way to squeeze into the playoffs. It doesn't matter if they're winning 15 games or 10 games. They're finding their way into the playoffs. And Jackson is going to be a key reason why. He's my number 3. And who are we going to have? My MVP? So close. Well, we all knew it. Matthew Stafford, you had a great run. You were last season's MVP, and you will be this season's MVP. Yup, that's right. I faked you all. Matthew Stafford is my MVP. You want to know why? It's all about stats and wins. Who's going to be the best team in the entire league? LA. Who's going to have probably the best set of options? The Rams. They got McVay. They got Puka. They got Devontae. They got Kyron. They got a really good O-line, and that defense is new and improved, and it's going to help them out a lot with the wins part of it. But that offense won't skip a beat. And if Stafford doesn't regress like crazy, or somebody does something stupid on this offense and regresses, Stafford's going to be the guy to beat. Wins and stats. Which means, so close, will be Josh Allen. If you have him as your MVP, I understand. Josh Allen adds much better running. But I don't know. I feel like at some point the Bills either gotta explode one way or the other. And this defense isn't looking much better. The offense isn't looking much better. They got DJ Moore. I don't know if the Joe Brady hiring as the head coach is the right decision. Josh Allen is still going to be Josh Allen. But I think Stafford has better coaching, offensive, and defensive weapons. Which is why I'm giving him the edge over Josh Allen. But what are your thoughts? Do you think Jacoby Brissett or Geno Smith will win MVP? Well, please let me know. And the next thing I'll probably do is Offensive Player of the Year? Maybe? Maybe that's my idea. But it's going to be really difficult when you have an insane receiver and an insane running back. Detroit. But outside of that, hopefully it'll be very clear for most teams. But till then, I'll see you in the next one.